This is the golden rule. Let's talk about it. We don't gotta walk around it. Your Bluetooth, the new tennis shoe, we finding new balance. Faith, family, and talents. How we find God around it. East y'all got the ox now. This your favorite channel. What we on Faith Talk? This a good space to talk. We gon' cross every road if we got a jaywalk. What we on sports now? No, this ain't Sports Center, but ever since Acot, the boy had the sport in him. Man of the house now. What we talking family ties? My dogs won't talk to me. Surely I'm a family guy. You can bring the conversation to me, get it analyzed. Men lie, women lie, the truth should be baptized. Whatever you put into this world is what you getting back. So while you listen in your car, try and sit with that. While you listen in the gym, try and lift the mat. This is podcasting cool. Welcome to the Golden Rule. It's golden, baby.
Man, what's happening? What's happening? It's your boy E Shaw, man. This episode 7 right here, and I'm so elated. I'm happy to present this episode to y'all, man, because I did a poll and it was a few people, man, that reached out to me and was like, hey, how do I want to become an entrepreneur, but I don't really know how to do it. I'm kind of afraid to start it. I ain't got the funds or whatever the case may be. So guys, today I'm going to give everybody what they've been asking for. And I got some of my esteemed gentlemen with me, man. So this is the Golden Rule podcast, fellas. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Y'all know my name is Eddie Shaw. And I got with me today a couple of people, man, that are near and dear to me. They got a wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience in this area that we're going to talk about today, fellas. So we're going to jump right into it, man. Hope everybody's doing okay. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in with us. I appreciate all y'all, man. We're about to have some fun, very informative discussion here that we're about to have. So I appreciate everybody for joining. All right. We're going to get right into it, man. Without further ado, let me bring these gentlemen in here. All right. Now, I'm going to go down the line. All right. Now, the first person I'm going to present to y'all, he's been on here before. We actually had an episode on here with him. And we go like ultra way back from when I was a kid. Right. So he's the owner of Prestige Barber College in Greensboro, North Carolina. He's also the owner of Gents by Prestige and the Urban Renaissance by Prestige Barbershops. He does a countless things in the community of Greensboro, man. He's coached kids, mentor. He has a lot of titles. Man. But without further ado, man, he has a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information that he's going to present with us today. So without further ado, man, let me add Gene Blackmon to the show, man. What's happening, my guy?
What's going on, man?
All right, man. I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you again, man. Good to have you back on here.
Hey, man, I'm honored to be back on here, man, and it's always great to see you, bro.
My man. First of all, congratulations is due to you and your wife, man. I'm happy for you, and I can finally say for the first time in my life that I beat you at something.
Simple facts. For the first time, you're right about that. But I appreciate
Nah, man, but I'm so happy for you, man. How the kids doing, brother? How the baby doing?
Man, my son, he's 14. He's doing his thing at Mendenhall in his 8th grade school year.
Okay.
And just, training for football and all that good stuff, man. And my daughter, she's happily married in Fayetteville, 27 years old. And, I have a grandbaby that's 4 months.
Oh, yeah. So you a vet in the game. You a vet in the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I hope I ain't missed nothing in that intro, man. Like I say, you had an episode with me last time, so a lot of people can go back to that. But man, you got a lot of hats, man. You've been doing this for a while. So when I thought about this episode, of course, you came in mind. I know you're gonna give the people a lot of information on how this thing works as far as being an entrepreneur, man. So man, I'm glad to have you, brother. I appreciate you for even taking the time to come, man. And for those who don't know,
go ahead. I'm sorry, but I like I said, I'm glad to be here, man. And that's the one thing about entrepreneurship, man. You said I wear many hats, but entrepreneurship has allowed me the platform to do so and the freedom to do, a lot of different things in our community, man. So, that's why entrepreneurship is definitely, very big and important, man, to be able to do that. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. No question. And all these people, by the way, y'all, that I'm having on, I have ties. I have some deep ties to them, specifically Gene. Man, this guy coach. Yeah, like I said, y'all seen the last episode that we and him did. I've been on this.
Well, I coached you. I had to fight with you. All that, bro.
Right. So he know what type of athlete I am. Him and B4 know what type of athlete.
Listen, and look, and just to see, the type of man you developed into today is just crazy, man.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because a lot of people would have looked at you, and some did, I'm sure. And how you were as a young kid, man, and like, nah, man, he gonna be dead or in jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? But nah, man, I saw something in you, bro, and I'm extremely proud to see what type of man you've developed into.
Man, well, I definitely appreciate that, Gene. I really do, man.
Yeah.
We gonna touch base with Gene here. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the next guest we got going on here. The next guy, I've been knowing this cat for over 25 years, really and truly. Been knowing him for a minute. He's the owner of Oak and Ave Property Group, based out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. CEEJ has built a unique process of real estate transactions and the development of 30 affordable homes within the past 3 years. In 2019, he won the Spartanburg Young Professionals Entrepreneur of the Year Award. And in 2023, he won the Spartanburg County Impact Award winner and Spartanburg County BEC Black Business of the Year recipient. So
Nice.
Without further ado, man, I want to introduce my friend, Christopher CEEJ Jefferson, man. And if y'all don't know, he made the intro that y'all heard, man. Without further ado, my boy Chris CEEJ, what's happening, my boy?
What's up, my brother? How you, man?
I'm doing good, brother, man. I'm so glad to have you on here. I'm glad.
Oh man, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man. I know. Again, you got a wealth of knowledge, and I got to actually see your business into fruition, bro. So very unique perspective of mine. And you also inspired me as well, man. I remember that conversation we had in your office.
Yeah.
Kind of inspired me to go ahead and jump, man. Take that leap and jump. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and you're doing it. This is the fruits of it. You know, we get to enjoy the sweetness of it with you and being a part of it. So nah, man, it says a lot. You know, you reached out to your folks and see what they want, and now you get to provide a platform. And that's what you wanted to do, man. And you're doing it. So proud of you, broski. Glad to be here.
Man, I appreciate you, bro. How everybody going? How the family doing, man? Girls,
Amber, everybody's good, man. I got a freshman at Clemson in business school right now. She's killing it. She just made the dean's list. I got a freshman in high school. She's killing it. She'll probably go to whatever college she wants in the country at this rate. And my wife is in nursing school right now, so everybody's in school. So we good.
Bro, like again, I've been knowing CEEJ. I'm sorry, I've been knowing CEEJ for I don't know since we was 12, I guess 12, 13.
Yeah.
And first of all, the fact that you even have a kid in college is
right.
Is crazy. But she actually goes to the same college you went to. That's even crazy. You know
man, on her first day, well, when we took her to school for the first day, official day, we got to show her where me and her mom met at. That's crazy, right?
Man,
so
man.
She across the street in a dorm right now, so it's mind blowing.
It's a blessing, man. And I'm glad to have you. I know you got a lot of information for these folks, man. So I'm glad to have you, bro. And last but not least, man. Sometimes I keep the best for last. No, I'm just, this guy right here, man. I've been knowing B4 for almost 10 years now. He's a heck of an athlete. And I'm not even giving him his justice by saying that, but he is a heck of an athlete. North Rowan High School alumni. He holds an associate and bachelor's degree. He wears a lot. This guy wears a lot of hats too, from being a husband to a father. He works in finance. Obviously, he's an entrepreneur. He is a former pro athlete and a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. He also hosts, and he's the proprietor of his own podcast, Members Only. And you can follow B4, Brandon Ford at _King_Ford and Members Only with a Z _podcast on IG. Like I said, this guy literally helped me start this business, man. So I owe gratitude to him, man. And this is a guy I can go to and lean on for advice. So without further ado, Brandon Ford Sr. B4, what's happening, my guy?
Man, what up, my boy?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Ain't nothing much, man. Ain't nothing much, man.
Hey, man, first of all, bro, I want to thank you for even having me on here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've only been asked to be on by 2 podcasts so far. I've pretty much been the host every single time. So
come on, man.
It's good to be in this seat, bro. I ain't gotta orchestrate nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just vibing out, bro. And the other 2 guys on here, man. Hey, it's good to meet y'all.
You as well. Likewise, bro.
I'm not quite as tenured as y'all. The resume, it run deep, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely a pleasure to be on the panel with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like especially with us having at least one thing in common, and that's us being, well, a few things. There's all us black men, obviously.
Yeah.
And we also all have entrepreneurial background in some shape or form. And yeah, we all are fathers also, you know what I'm saying? From what I heard anyway, all y'all have kids also, a family, so it's always good. So but yeah, man, Eddie, you doing, like they said, man, you doing real good with this thing, man. The whole setup, the whole presentation,
man,
I feel like that's the biggest part of it. You know what I'm saying? That's because a lot of people jump into this thing wanting to be rich or whatever, but you got to really do this because you're passionate about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your presentation showed me, everybody watching, and everybody on this panel that you care about your craft, because, you know what I mean, even from the, you know what I mean, what you got in the background, like behind you, like just small stuff like that, bro. It just show us that you care about what you're doing. And as long as you care about it, bro, it's gonna do what it need to do.
Absolutely.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Real quick before we start, so when I thought about starting this, of course, before it was like, look, this is what you gotta do. You gotta get the equipment, bro. He actually came to the crib, checked out my equipment. He was like, yeah, you straight, bro. You got everything you need. So my very first episode on here, y'all can go back and look at it, bro. I had like the setup that y'all see right here. I had none of that, right? None of that. Matter of fact, I wasn't even ready to broadcast. Before it was like, come on, man, we're gonna do an episode. He was like, yeah, you broadcasted, right? I was like, what? I wasn't ready, bro. I was nervous. I was like, nah, I thought you was broadcasting. Nah, bro. Go ahead and broadcast. Like, go ahead. Had nothing, but I knew that I had me. I had my character, and I knew he wasn't gonna let me just, get on there looking all crazy, man. So shout out to B4, man, because I'm telling you, he really, like, him and my wife pushed me. I was like, I'm not doing it. I don't have the resources. I ain't got nothing. B4 was like, dog, do it, bro.
Bro, because you waiting for perfection, bro. Ain't no such thing.
Right on, man. So yeah. I appreciate you, man. I know you got a wealth of information when it comes to this entrepreneurship. And also, guys, he said something key. We have, especially in the Black community, man. I really want to touch on that with the folks on that's watching and the folks out there, because, like I said, I got a lot of people who have been asking me, man, how do you start your business, or what do I got to do to start my business? And I know we're gonna expound and touch upon that. So let's get right into it. Man. What I'm gonna do is, I got a series of questions that I'm gonna ask each of y'all, and I basically, man, I don't want you guys to hold anything back as far as the information that you're putting out there, because again, we got people that really want to know. Are some people are afraid. Some people have no clue as to what resources and means you need to start your business. So, I'm gonna start with you, Chris. Give us a rundown of Oaken Ave property, man, and kind of let us know exactly what it is that you do. And, kind of give us some details on that.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep it brief, man. So we're a real estate brokerage and development firm. We build affordable homes, and we do all real estate transactions. I have 6 agents on the team with me. My wife is a full-time administrative director, so she works with me full-time as well. Been in it full-time for 3 years now. Again, we've closed over 100 transactions. We've built over 30 homes, and man, I say that with the spirit of, I never could have even imagined that this is what I would be doing even up to 3 years ago. So just briefly, I was working in the school systems. I was working in finance, doing real well in finance.
Right.
Long story short, with my influence in music, etc., I started working in the schools. When I got a call from the principal saying, "Hey, we need you here with your influence," I did that. I took a 60% pay decrease, which was the dumbest thing seemingly I could have ever done. To go work in the schools, and I did it But I tell people all the time, man, I was able to buy time. You know, time was expensive, and I made a deal. I leveraged it and said, hey, look, I'll be here. I'll do great at my job, but you know, I need to be flexible, and they allowed me to do that. I won support staff for the year, my first year, but I also built my business, and then COVID happened. I remember COVID, and that happened while I was in the school. So of course, we wasn't in school, but I was, you know, still getting paid a little bit I was getting. So I was like, man, I can take this, leverage it, and build my own business. You know, I was working in truancy. So a big part of my job in truancy was to see why kids weren't coming to school, you know? And while I was doing that, I would go to their houses and I would say, man, every time I would go to the house, I would start seeing the environments they lived in. I'm in a 90% poverty school, you know, all minority school. So I start seeing the environment and I'm like, man, we got to start figuring out how to impact holistically where they live because it's tied to education. I would say, hey, we can't suspend this kid no more. You know what I'm saying? We got to do anything except send him home anymore. And in that, I started realizing, man, maybe I can start affecting them holistically. So to finish this, my pastor is my general contractor. We were just riding together one day and I seen houses he was building. I was like, man, I wonder if I could build these houses for the people that you know what I'm saying, in my community, etc. And that's how I got into it. I remember he reached in the trunk and he was like, hey, he told me to go to the trunk. He said, there's a blueprint back there. Learn how to read it. And I learned how to read that. And I took that thing serious, man. And from there, during COVID, I got my real estate license, launched the program, and the rest is history, you know. And now here we are, 3 years later, really doing some strong development within our community and making a big impact. You know, and that's just a brief. I know we'll dive more in later, but that's how it got started.
Yeah, absolutely. And bro, let me tell you. So when my son was born, Trey was born, I remember coming up to you. Had just gotten in the office, and you was explaining that story to me, and I thought it was mind blowing. I was like, bro, I first of all, I couldn't even believe that I was in your a brokerage firm that you have built. Like I wouldn't have imagined you. You know what I mean? Like dealing with homes, but when you told me that, bro, I was like, you literally learned how to read the blueprints. You know what I'm saying? Like in somebody's trunk. And that's what inspired you. That was crazy to me, bro. Like for those who don't know, and there are a lot of people who really don't know the difference between a brokerage and like somebody who was into real estate, like a real estate agent. What is the difference between a brokerage and somebody who's just in real estate?
Yeah, so in actuality, a real estate agent works for a brokerage. So a real estate agent themselves can never represent a client. So most people think that. You think, hey, I'm a client, I represent Eddie. You can't represent Eddie. You can only represent the brokerage, and the broker in charge represents Eddie. So if I work for Oak Ave or Keller Williams, I throw that out there because everybody knows that name. That client belongs to Keller Williams or Oak Ave. And then so an agent, I'll put it like this. An agent is a position coach, right? A position coach can never be the head coach of their own team. You know, it's their receivers, it's their quarterback, whatever position they play, but they're all under the head coach who will be the broker in charge. So that's how it works. And now that differs from state to state with terms because it's a little different, North Carolina, South Carolina, but that's how a real estate agent and a brokerage works inside a firm. So it's the real estate agent, brokerage is the team that you play for, and the broker in charge is the head coach.
Okay. So what made you develop a brokerage firm and not want to be a real estate agent? And or were you a real estate agent?
Yeah, so I'm a real estate agent as well and own the brokerage. So it's different, right? It's like, so I own the business Oak Ave, which is the brokerage, but I'm an agent and we hired a broker in charge. So I don't have the responsibility of being broker in charge, even though I own the company. That way I can focus more on development because I focus more on finding deals, you know, finding houses, flipping houses, going through the whole development phases of new construction, getting access to capital, loans, all that. I delve in that. A broker in charge deals with the agents themselves. And so, and I'll say this briefly, that was unique because when I started as a real estate agent, again, you got to find a coach to play for, right? So the Blue Realty and Associates, shout out to Tracy Blue, I was part of her team. So you can have your own team as an agent, right? And I was in Spartanburg, she was in Greenville. But it got to the point where I was doing so well. So my life changed in about 6 months. I got my license, created a system, a CRM system, customer relations management system, where I could hold. I was like, if I had 1,000 clients, could I work with all of them right now? That's how I thought about business. So I created a whole system, like a management system that I could put clients in, follow up with them, and all that stuff. But I did so well when I launched my program. You know, I closed like 30-something homes my first year, right? Within a 6-month period. I didn't do anything my first 6 months. Next 6 months, I closed like 30 homes. It was crazy, right? And in doing that, we got to the point where she was like, hey, I'll partner with you on the actual development firm, and I'll hold my hat as the broker in charge, because initially she was, if we can do this thing together. So we call ourselves KLC Taco Bell. You know, you always see one with the other. They brand different, but they really under the same umbrella though. And that's how we look at it.
I got you. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna move to be forward. But before I do that, I want to touch with you, Chris, on what the actual resources that you had. So I guess the question I'm trying to ask is, you started off as a real estate agent. I guess the main resource that you had to get was your real estate license.
Right.
Then once you got the real estate license, you said the first 6 months you did nothing. The next 6 months you closed on 30 plus homes. With that, gave you the idea, and it gave you the confidence, I can really do this. Let's take it a step further. Now I can partner with Ms. Blue.
Yeah.
And that's basically, under her, you learn, all right, if I get this brokerage firm, okay, now I can focus on the development side of things, where I can start developing affordable income housing for people who may not be able to afford those. So is that kind of how it worked?
Yeah, but I'll say this though, and when you talk about, like, you know, entrepreneurs and what it takes to start, et cetera, but I failed to say I didn't do anything in my first 6 years, but I had the plan. 6 months, but I had the plan in place. So for instance, when I got my license, the first 2 months I spent creating the system in order to be able to be you can't do hundreds of clients at one time, because that was my mindset. Then I created a whole system of how I was going to be a broker. So, you know, I'm from a family of hustlers, right? And you know, dope dealers and locked up and this and that, and my pops and all that. So for me, I was the same way when I was in school, when I was in college. You know what I mean? I was the dope boy in college. And so I always knew how to, like, this is my favorite word, galvanize people and figure out how to make money, and like how to get and I had this thing where you couldn't, I'm just talking real, you know, you couldn't come and buy a dime and nicks from me. That ain't how I roll. You know, you had about an ounce. That was it. And so I dealt with 20 people versus 200. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I took that same mindset of like, nah, how can we do real estate to where I'm not begging for clients, but instead we can get a lot at one time, you know?
Right.
And so I had a programmatic approach to doing real estate. And in doing that, though, to that point, to your question, I created the system first, and I solved that problem. So it seemed as if I wasn't doing anything for the first 6 months, but I had already created the wheel, if you will. You know, and so whenever the only reason I was able to close that many deals at one time is because when they started rolling in, I had a whole system prepared for them, where others may not have. You know what I'm saying? And that was the difference for me. And that's how I still operate. So people come to our brokerage entering a program versus just coming out looking for an agent to client relationship. And that helped me make a bigger impact. And I'll tell you later about how that came about.
Very unique, systematic approach to your business, man. And I knew, like you say, man, that takes a lot of cerebral ability up there, man. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna just say it like that.
I ain't gonna lie, like the way he put it together is really, like, it's crazy, bro, because I can tell he's like, yeah, the hustling side of it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the other side of it, which he knows, because I'm pretty sure he done been in sales before also. Man, the way he put it together is basic business sales, B2B business. Like
that's saying, right.
Exactly. And he, for that 6 months, bro, he really just Not only CRM, like I'm here with you. CRM, like not only that, bro, he created like a pipeline, bro. So while everybody else selling at that time, he building a pipeline. That's the reason why after them 6 months, everything started dropping for him. He probably was getting deals in month 9 that he probably worked on in month 2. You know what I'm saying? Because
y'all ain't listening to before because he on point.
You know like
he on point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, he building that pipeline. So yeah, it looked like he wasn't working 6 months, but bro, probably in year 2, he probably was closing deals from something he put in a seed he planted in month 3, or a referral from month 4. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
exactly
pipeline, bro, and like he said, bro, he got this tight knit group. Instead of trying to stretch yourself too thin with 1,000 people, he just got a small little core, and he just following up, closing and following up, and referrals and following up, and it's just kind of like he done built that little nucleus. Like he got his pipeline set up. Like he said, you put him in sports terms, bro. Like you a college recruit, you got your pipeline. You running through North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. You ain't worried about Texas. You ain't worried about Cali. I might have just killed these 3 states right here, and we're gonna build it from here. You know what I'm saying? And now this kid, he done graduated. Now his little brother coming through, and his son coming through, so on and so on. So I mean, I'm with you, bro. Like I'm right here.
I mean, I just want to say, bro, like that's when I say exactly. I'll say this last part because I went to Wendy's and it changed my life. That's whenever I just figured out what I was gonna do next in life. I went to Wendy's and I got the 4 for $4. But at the time, remember the 4 for $4 was 99 cents. Y'all remember all the items was 99 cents on it. Right. Anyway, so you could get a 5, 6, 7, 8 for 8. You can get whatever you want. But it's genius that Wendy and her people sat at the table and said, hey, I bet you I can get them to buy 4 99-cent items at one time, though. How? Put them all in the bag at the same time and call it something. And now they'll buy 4 of them, even though they probably would have just bought a nugget and a fry, unless I tell them it's all packaged together, and then they'll buy 4. And I said, man, because consumerism 101 is that people want structure. They want structure. They want it to be efficient. They want it to be easy. And so for me, we created a program called a buyback program, and we put our 4 items in the bag. I found a lender that could do bond loans, like deal with resources and low income folks like me. A builder, my pastor, who could build the homes and we could make them affordable with the build costs. I found someone who could do credit repair, who can automatically, get you in the credit repair system and repair that for you. And then somebody who could do financial literacy, who could help you be able to sustain home ownership. That was our 4. That was our nugget, fry, drink, and burp. And there it is. One-stop shop. When we did that, I launched a program. So here I am to B4's point. Let me say how on point he was. When we first launched the program, I did it over a 3-day period. I got 144 clients in 3 days, but had never sold a house before. So I had a CRM system with 144 people in it, even though I had never closed on the house. And then to his point, that next 2 years was all from those folks that started like that. And then that's how we kept going. So he's spot on.
Wow.
And it's just solving a problem. That's all entrepreneurship is it's solving a problem. The dude who created the paperclip is a billionaire. You know that? A billionaire, because he dropped some papers one day and said, dang, I wish I could have clipped that. And was smart enough to create a paperclip. He just solved a problem that everybody already has.
Right. Man, well said, man. I'm coming to you next, B4, because I mean I want you to explain to them exactly what what you're involved in, man. But I think a lot of and I'll let you explain this. A lot of what you have going on for yourself, man, is involved heavily in the community and also, your background. So I'll let you touch base on that, man.
All right. So I'm actually one that has my hand in a whole lot of pots, and at times I can honestly say it might be too many. I think it's like a gift and a curse being a jack of all trades, because I'm good at too much stuff. I feel like good at a lot of things, but rarely great at any of them, if that makes sense. But I'm just kind of good across the board at a lot of different things. And that really stretches everywhere from sports to the youth to a mechanic, an electrician. You know what I'm saying? You name it. You know, I can eyeball an account and I can tell somebody exactly how to grow their money and all that. And then somebody could pull up and I can hear a sound in their car and I can go get a wrench and I know how to fix it. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of like, that's just one of those things, bro. Like, it's a good thing to have, but I hate it sometimes. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So like, but as far as what I have going on, like on the business side of things, you know, I have members only podcast. It's podcast that I started that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And it's just you know what I'm saying? I do touch on a lot of topics kind of like Eddie does, but I like to focus, like, obviously I focus on the sports side of it because that's what I feel like I know better than I know anything else.
Right.
So always gonna have sports involved, but I also try to touch on like growing up topics, like a conversation that I feel like men need to have that oftentimes we don't. And I'm not really speaking on men as a whole, primarily on African American men, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of things we don't really speak on. And I just try to tie sports and real life together. That's something that I just wanted to do for a minute. Something I done. And I'm in like season 3 right now with my podcast, actually. So that's one thing. Another thing is I have Ford Logistics Incorporated is a business that I actually registered through the Secretary of State in 2018, right?
Okay.
2018. Had it for a while. I done that. A lot of that was like trial and error though. So like,
Sure.
you know, unlike bro who started his joint, I feel like he jumped into something that he could kind of tie his skills that he already had naturally, kind of tied into it, like the hustler mentality and sales, really kind of tying it together to do something that he was passionate about, which was creating like affordable homes in his community for people like us who, even like myself, who kind of feel like you may never own a home. You know what I'm saying? But he creating those opportunities for people who might feel that way. So he was able to take what he loved doing and he was passionate about and was able to tie it together into something. And then in my case, it was more so starting something that I felt like I could make money off of, which initially it wasn't something that I was passionate about. If I'm gonna be completely honest, it just was something that I felt like I could make some bread on. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is gonna be easy flip, whatever. And really, true story. When I started my logistics company, which was like I done cargo vans, so like that's what I done. Like I didn't have like big rigs or nothing like that. Right. I had cargo vans, so I started out with one, and what it was is it's expedited freight. So basically, companies pay you extra to get something to them overnight that UPS might say or FedEx might say it's gonna take 7 days. I might pick up something in Charlotte and gotta have it in Texas by tomorrow night type situation. Like, and that's like a true story. You might pick up something in Charlotte at 9 p.m. Houston, Texas want it by tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? At 11 p.m. That's a tight squeeze, but they willing to pay the extra to get it to them in that, you know what I'm saying, in that time frame. So that's what I started out doing. But the true story is when I started this, bro, I didn't even have a license. Nobody don't even know that. That's what made it tough because what happened was I actually lost my license because when I first moved to the city that I'm in now, I got harassed so much and I got pulled over so much for nothing to the point where I had like 25 citations, and I ain't even exaggerating. And they
you talked about that.
They were stressed out between like a couple counties, so I would get confused on where I had to go to court. Long story short, I had court in one county and I was in another county, and I had them mixed up, and I missed court. So when I missed court, my license got suspended. So like, it just was like, it got suspended, then I pay it, then it gets suspended again. Like I was just I got behind the 8 ball, you know what I'm saying? Like on all these court dates, and I just kept paying them and it gets suspended and I pay them. And then I just like, after so long, I said, F it, you know what I'm saying? I ain't paying no more, basically, like, because they kept taking my license anyway. So like I didn't have them. So I started this business, and that's why it was so tough for me, because I had a business that was based on driving and I didn't have a license. So I had to rely on like somebody else to like be the driver and all this other stuff. So I kicked out a whole lot of money, bro, on the front end of this thing. basically relying on somebody else. And y'all two are business owners, and I know y'all know that if nobody not gonna care about the business like you are if it's yours. So especially if they ain't putting no money in it. So I got the money in it, I got the time in it, I got the passion in it and everything. Which I said initially I wasn't passionate about it, but that came after I put my money in it. Yeah, I'm passionate about it because I want to get my money back, obviously. So I had to rely on somebody else to do it for me. They wasn't on the same page that I was on. So it just was like, it was an uphill battle. So before I even got started, bro, I was already like behind the 8 ball, already off the rip. So I done that, but I learned a lot about it. Although it was a business that I struggled with, and I'm not gonna say I struggled because I made a lot of money doing it, but I didn't have nobody that was like guiding me on the way that I should have done things. And that's really a testament of everything that I kind of done my whole life, bro. Like everything that I ever done, I had to do it through trial and error. Like I didn't have nobody telling me, look, bro, I already did this. You need to do it this way. Like I had to take my L's.
Took your lumps.
Needed to do. Right. Yeah. So instead of me I wasn't taking the money that I made from the business and you know what I'm saying, putting back into the business or being responsible and taking a certain percentage and paying myself and then taking the other percentage and putting it into an account as basically the money that the business earned. I wasn't doing it like that. I started this thing with my own money and I was living off what I made. So it was like, y'all know, like if you're not making a substantial enough on the front end, then you basically spending what you're making, especially in a business like transportation, not knowing when it's going to be up and it's going to be down. Like one week I'll make crazy money, and then it's like, and in my mind I'm thinking this is the norm because this is also an industry that I never been in, or I wasn't taught this industry. So I wasn't doing it the right way. I wasn't putting the money to the side as I should have been. I wasn't being a responsible person, and it wasn't that I was intentionally being irresponsible. I think that I just was unaware, really. So I just was handling it the wrong way. So I would say it was a business that I would say failed, and the only reason why is because, like I said, I wasn't doing it the right way. And once it came to a point where I did expand though, I ended up buying a second one, so I had two. So once and then I hired a person to drive the first one, and I was making, after I was paying him, I was clearing like 2,000, 2,500 like a week after paying him. So it was cool.
Right.
So, but that's like before my expenses or whatever. So then when I got a second one, I just felt like everything was gonna go as it should have went with the second one. And then it just was like, in that industry, man, I had to fly people in to pick it up and then drive. Like it just started being like more, I felt like it was being more of a headache for me. Flying people in, relying on them. If they don't want to drive, then I didn't make no money. And the only way, back to what I said before, if nobody's gonna care about it like me. So I gotta get out there and drive myself. So mind you, I done took that trip. I done picked up in Charlotte and dropped off half in Dallas and took the other half to Idaho. I done did that, bro. I done drove all over the place. 32-hour, 35-hour runs. And that's just like I said, I had to take my L's on it and really just kind of listening to his story when he was telling about his joint at first. It just kind of bring me back. It took me back to where, when I think about the whole situation, bro, like I should have just tapped into something that was more that I cared about more. Right. And then I researched a little bit more, things like that. But those are really the two businesses that I tapped into. But as far as like my career is concerned, like I'm not like a full-time entrepreneur now. Now I do have, I have like a regular job. I'm in finance, like I said before. So like now my job is like member engagement is what it is. So it's a credit union. So all the members we have now, my job now is not only open the accounts, but do follow-ups, but also to look at those accounts that's over 10K and to try to find ways to help these people grow the money that they have. And to also try to bring them outside finances that they have into our institution. So that's kind of like what my job is now. That's what I do like full time. And I mean, it's cool. Obviously it is cool, but I do want to tap in. I really, if I could do this full time, that's really what I would do, because that's what I'm passionate about. And like you said, in the community, as far as the community is concerned, I am a Sigma. Part of being a Sigma is you have to be tapped into the community. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like, that's like what you do.
Yeah,
I do. So I'm tapped in with the youth. Like
yeah.
my sons, 2 of my sons go to A.L. Brown High School right now. My oldest son graduated from A.L. Brown last year. So I got 2 that's in high school right now. My daughter, she only in elementary school. So, but as far as youth, man, I don't really coach, but I train a lot of kids and I educate them. I like try to keep their mind right as far as basketball. Yeah, I play football, but around here it's really like more kids play basketball here. So like I'm just kind of like tapped in on that. But yeah, man, like I'm really into the community, bro. I just be trying to like find my lane. That's like really where I'm at right now. Like I feel like I don't feel like I'm really all over the place, but I need to like find like my lane. I want to just kind of get in that lane. I want to stay in that lane, even though I don't know how to do a lot of different things, but I just want to like to get in one little space and I want to stay in that space. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now, really.
Yeah. I would say before that's how I heard about you. It was from people like around the Salisbury and Concord and Charlotte area, man. People know you for, working with the kids, training the kids. I'm being quite honest with you. I didn't even know you played basketball. Like I just knew you. Like people was telling me, man, like B4, who is this B4 cat? Like, man, this dude, man, he nice. He nice on the field, dog. Like I didn't even, and I heard you was nice. I heard you was nasty at basketball. I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? But I think, as far as I know, you got a huge following in the community, man. And people like that will always, have worth, have value. You know what I'm saying? Because you've always been tapped into the community ever since I've known. And people know you for that, man. So yeah, man. Keep with this broadcasting, man. This podcasting, dog, because like I said, you're already in season 3, and I'm gonna let everybody know how to contact you on members only podcast.
Oh yeah,
man.
for sure.
Like,
and I definitely want having one of y'all on my joint too. And and bro, what you said, CEEJ, right? You said
CEEJ, yeah,
bro. Like, so look, I actually have my NMLS number 2. So like, I got all that stuff, bro. It's just like I said, I got so much stuff. Man, I already passed my life insurance exam. I got my mortgage originator joint. Man, I just got too much stuff, bro. Like I'm telling you, I
felt you when you said that, man. We can wear too many hats. So I'm interested to dive into this a little bit, because that's it is a gift and a curse. It is a gift and a curse.
Man,
we gonna touch on it.
Yeah.
Hey, Gene, talk to us, man.
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. I know you you the seasoned vet, man. So.
OG.
Man, listen, I've enjoyed listening to the brothers, man. Yeah. Share their journeys and their stories, man, about their businesses, man. So yeah, it's pretty dope, man. I commend y'all brothers, man.
So Gene, I want you got a very interesting. Well, I think everybody has their own interesting story, but your journey to becoming a business owner, man, is very interesting. And again, people who know me, they know the episode me and you had, but just expound on that, man, and just tell us how it led to your entrepreneurship, your entrepreneur journey, man.
Sure, man. So first and foremost, man, I started cutting hair like around 10 years old, man. Excuse me, cutting cats in the neighborhood, cousins and, friends. So, of course, through middle school, I started seeing my skills get better and better, cuts get nicer and nicer. But I was an athlete, man. Football and baseball were my 2 main sports. I was nice in basketball, but football and baseball were my main sports. And I really thought that I was on my way, man, to being a professional baseball player, man.
Right.
Got into a little trouble at about 16, hanging with some guys who were breaking into houses, cars, and all that good stuff, man. And, I had nothing to do with any of that, but I happened to be with those guys when they got caught. And so The detective questioned me. Of course, I couldn't tell him nothing because I knew nothing. I wasn't on any of those licks with him. But because this white male officer had the privilege to charge me, that's exactly what he did.
Right.
So he charged me with possession of stolen property, larceny, and accessory after the fact. And so that really kind of changed my life, man. I was in court a lot and missed a lot of days in school and excuse me, and eventually just dropped out, went and got my GED. And I had to make a decision, man. It was like I knew nobody, McDonald's or nobody would hire me because I had a criminal record. And not only did I have a criminal record, it had theft on it.
Right.
And so I had to make a decision, man. It was like, man, I'm either going to go hard out here in these streets or I'm going to do this barber school thing. And so I said, I'm going to try this barber school thing, man. Went to barber school, man. And man, it was no looking back, bro. It was absolutely no looking back, man. I was, I started noticing that I'm making more money than some of these guys who are out here on the corner hustling. And not only was I making a lot of money, because I was definitely blessed with, getting clientele. I started to have the freedom to start coaching because I wanted to make sure that I help other young men and women not get caught up in the trap that I got caught up in. So I said, I'm gonna do it through coaching and mentoring. And so that's when I started coaching at 18 years old, man. And, from there, man, I just helped a lot of young men and women.
Yeah, for sure. Like you shared that story with me several times. And the one thing that always gets to me is how young you were, man. Like when you started I think I started playing for you when I was, so I had to have been what, 9, 10, maybe 9. And you was 24. I couldn't believe how young.
What'd you say, Eddie? Say that again.
Like when you started coaching me, you was about 24 years old when you started coaching. When you started coaching me, you had been coaching before that.
Yeah, correct, man. And I was young, man, but yeah, and that was the crazy part, man. Like I was 18, and I was coaching guys that I coached a 10 to 12 team, and then I coached a 13 to 16 team, and I'm 18 years old. You know what I mean? But I was extremely passionate about trying to make sure that I help young men and women not fall into what I fell into. And then, I was blessed with this natural leadership thing where even my peers of the same age and even some older actually respect me and allow me to, to lead them in certain situations.
Absolutely.
You ain't gonna lie, that's dope, right?
Bro, like, like a couple of things I took from him forward and CEEJ was like I said, you literally had a guy who was very young coaching. And of course, as a 10-year-old, you're a sponge at that point, right? So you taking up everything. So of course, after practice, he would literally take all these knucklehead kids to his apartment. He cutting everybody's hair for free. He ain't charging nobody. So I'm noticing this, right? I'm like, dang, bro, like we playing a video game in his living room. He ordering pizza for everybody. And one thing I'm noticing, like, dang, yo, like, I need to get me a set of clippers, bro. Like, hey, I gotta get me a set. So what did I do? I was like, moms, I need some clippers so I can start charging people $2-3 to get a lot. So I started literally at the bus stop, hitting people hairlines up and stuff like that, charging $2-3. And this is all stuff I learned from this man right here, bro. Like, Gene, tell us how something as simple as because I know for me personally, in our neighborhood on Phillips Ave, but that's where I grew up at. Something as simple as a haircut, like made people feel like they was on top of the world, man. And I feel like I know you told me a couple times, man, like that in itself helped you to start. Tell us about the beauty school you started, the beauty college that you started, man, and of course your barbershops that you own now. How did you get to that point?
Yeah. So first of all, your first part, man. Man, a haircut can just transform people's energy, man. They may walk in one way, and then after they see the transformation, their energy change. You see cats walk out of the shop more confident, have a little bop in their step. You know what I mean? And and they feeling good, and they want to be seen, and they want to see people. You know what I'm saying, when they have a fresh cut, man. But for me, it wasn't just me giving a cut. Excuse me. And I tell my students this, man, like I provided top tier customer service. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because it was a lot of guys around giving nice fades. You can get a dope fade off any corner. But what I would offer, man, is top tier customer service. You know, and I had the ability to listen and feel the room and see what they actually needed. Sometimes the client needed to talk. Sometimes the client needed, advice. Sometimes the client just needed to sit back and relax for a minute. And for me to be able to, kind of fill the room with my clients and give them top tier customer service, man, it really helped me grow in this industry. And then, of course, I went from, being a barber and being under Ricky Dove, who I give a lot of credit to training me, especially when it came to customer service. I was able to eventually get my own shop. Then at one point I had 5. And then, started selling them off when I got a shop downtown that was called Gentleman's Court. So I really wanted to focus on that. And then in 2011, I decided, man, I'm going to go ahead and do this barber school thing. I wanted to help people on another level. Sometimes, and I heard you, my brother, you were like, you're just trying to find your lane. The crazy thing about that is sometimes they change, man, from season to season. So my lane was barbering and coaching. And then that changed to, me being a shop owner and now providing opportunity for other barbers to come in and work in the shop to, okay, now there's another lane that God is calling me to. And that is now opening a barber school and helping people get their barber license. And so, man, I said, man, I'm gonna do that, man. And I was struggling trying to find a location, man. And I was like, I don't want to be in a multicultural area. I want to be in the hood, man. I want to be in the neighborhood where, people tend to not have a lot of hope and opportunity. And so it was crazy how this location came up in the neighborhood, Phillips Avenue, where I grew up at, what I'm saying? And I jumped on it, man, and we went through what we had to go through, man, to get it going. And it's just been amazing, man. We have been a blessing to this community. Not only do we train people to get their barber license, but we also provide free haircuts for the community, man. So you're talking mothers who have 4 or 5 kids, man, and instead of paying $20-25 a piece, they're coming up here getting free haircuts, man. So we serve our community as well, man. So that's what we've been doing over here at Prestige.
Nah, that's dope.
Prestige Barber College, man.
I'm even gonna hold you, and I definitely want to inquire about the school too. My son, he kind of he like cutting hair too, and I mean I feel like it's always a good thing to have, considering I have boys, and I was always told, like, if you're artistic, like if you're good at like drawing and things like that, not saying that you would be a great barber, but it would be easier for you to like tap in if you're already kind of like an artist, like I can draw and stuff like that. So like I always thought about it, but barber school always was like the reason why I was always put to the back burner, because my wife is a hairdresser. So so the reason why it's been put to the back burner for me is because it was always so expensive, bro. Like it was so expensive, and then like the closest one was like mad far. I had to work, then had to drive there. It just was like always, you know what I'm saying? It was always like an experience for me, like at the time. But that's definitely something that I would like to look into. Like both of y'all really have like some real good things that like honestly like align with like my vision, especially like how bro is providing ways for people to like own homes and stuff. That's so major. When I tell you like that's so major, bro, that's like off the charts major, bro. Because you know how many people don't even have like opportunities to not only not do they not have some, to be honest with you, there are a lot of opportunities out there that that I've discovered through research and through rubbing elbows with different people, like the opportunities are actually there.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
but the mindset and where we from, it's like it ain't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't understand because you're uninformed. Like, there's so many opportunities out there, especially with people doing things like what he's doing. Like, bro, it bring the cost down. Like he said, he already got everything in house. He can try to cut the cost on the total. Like, he ain't trying to get rich off one person. Like, it's so much more to it, bro. And like, I've been looking at the market. Like, I've been in finance, bro. So like, I gotta know about mortgages and how the rates are fluctuating. I get an email every month telling me what the prime rates are and what they're going for right now. And bro, when I tell you, it's crazy because around the corner, prime example, around the corner from my house, there's a development, and they're new constructions, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a 4-bedroom home, it's a $410,000 house, but you can take that same exact complex with that same exact floor plan with the same exact everything. They just picked it up and they moved it into another city, this more of a rural area, not like where I'm at. Same house now, $295 for the same exact house. So that tells me what? Somebody along the line jacked up the price just cause. I mean, that's all it gotta be. Cause I mean, if it's the same exact square footage, the same exact build, the same exact floor plan, the same exact amount of rooms, but you mean to tell me it's $110,000 more, $15,000 more because it's in a different spot? Like, I understand that the ground, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know the ins and outs of where they build and things like that, but I'm pretty sure it ain't cost them $115,000 more per plot to make that same house. So like, the fact that what he's doing, bro, it just stands out to me heavily because that's something that we need. We need more people, more families that own homes. Because I listened to a radio. Matter of fact, I listened to the radio yesterday, and they were saying it was like they was talking about owning a home, and the woman who was giving advice, she was like, "My best advice to y'all is put that car back. You know what I'm saying? Don't go get that car. Don't go get this car financed and have this. And you know what I'm saying? Now you got this $40,000 car that you gotta pay for the next 5 to 7 years. Put that car back, because one thing for sure is if you own a home, you can borrow on your home. You can go and like I said, I'm in finance, so bro, you can go. We doing 90% of home to value for HELOCs. You can go get this line of credit. You can get 90% of what your home is worth, drop right into an account, and you can go use it for whatever you want to use it for. And you can use it for up to 10 years. And then after that 10-year mark, you start paying it back. You can't do that with a car. So it's just the mindset, bro. People want to go get a Benz, bro, and you can't do nothing with it. You can go get a crib. Yeah, your mortgage, like I said, that house I was telling you about, like my realtor sent me some information. That like for that $295,000 house, we talking like she said mortgage is gonna be around the $1,800 mark. So you pay $1,800 a month for your mortgage, but you want to go pay $1,200 for a Hellcat.
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, and I think that's why what we're doing is so important, man. Because we're bringing information and opportunity to our community, this demographic that we speak of. Because this demographic, everything that's typically poured into our demographic that we're talking about is typically things that make us consumers and not investors. And the things that we are doing now are making our people or teaching them how to become investors in this community, man. So I commend y'all brothers once again, man, for what y'all doing, man. But that's one of the issues, man, that we don't know. And the information is not brought to us. You know, most of the people who get the information have to go outside our community to get it. And that's why I want to keep pumping things, information, opportunity, hope, all of that into our community, man. So they can just look up and see it like we do with everything else that's not good in our community. We just look up and we see it.
Right. And that's the main reason why I created this platform, guys, is because part of the reason why before, to answer your question, is because when I say we, I mean the Black community just don't know. For instance, like kids who CJ, my son is 12. Well, in the white community, you better believe